So leading up to E3, I've been discussing things I want to see, stuff I'm excited about. But when it comes to EA, things are a little different. Over the years, I've come to lower my expectations greatly when it comes to this company. I'd be impressed if their show was just at least not a complete and total abomination. You think that's not asking too much, but when it comes to EA, apparently it is. Just outdoing themselves year after year with the cringe and disappointment. But fear not though, EA, because I can fix this for you. So today, let's talk about what EA can do to not totally embarrass themselves at E3 2018. You see, that's why women can't war. Before I really get into it, let's talk about this women invasion of Battlefield 5, because it is the big talk of the town right now. I'm gonna be straight up, I think this is a big distraction. Just like the numbering, Battlefield 4, then Battlefield 1, then Battlefield 5. How am I supposed to even know which one's the new one? It's really like they're just trying to confuse and misdirect people from the core problem. These games are kind of boring. I really don't care how many times they claim to have reinvented the franchise. Battlefield, in my opinion, hasn't been even fun since Battlefield Vietnam. Everyone's pointing, oh, 3, 4, or 1, like, go back to that. No, all trash since 2004. Just downhill ever since. They need these sorts of controversies to keep it relevant. If people weren't debating about women ruining this super historically accurate, everything is totally real war simulator, then people wouldn't be talking about it at all. And here's the thing. They know, the hardcore players, they're still gonna buy it. Even if they claim they're pissed, oh, I'm gonna boycott it. If you've been putting up with the same shit over and over all these years, buying all the DLC packs and everything, a few pixelated boobers running around isn't going to turn you away. Let's be real. And that's the key. They know they're still going to get the core players, regardless. If you bought all these Battlefields over recent years, you'll buy anything, obviously. But they'll also probably get some of the, yay, we respect the women purchases too. They know they're getting column A, and this controversy can help them get a little column B. But at the end of the day, the joke's on all of you, because you're all playing yet another Battlefield. Yeah, at the end of the day, EA is gonna laugh at all of you, okay, while they count their money. Alright, now that we got the controversial stuff out of the way, let's talk about the actual conference now.
Thank you for having me, EA. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Jesse Wellens, and I am a YouTube creator. So I am here to talk about Need for Speed, Payback. If you guys didn't know, Need for Speed Payback, yeah, it's a great game.
Most importantly, drop this social media influencers deal from last year. This stuff was legitimately hard to watch. You see, there's good awkward and bad awkward. This was bad. When the Yarny guy was up there a few years ago and was visibly shaking, yeah, it was hard to watch, but we knew the guy was nervous. This isn't what he does, and he clearly cared a lot about his game and sort of became a hero of the show that year. These f***ing chuckleheads you brought on specifically because they're so hip and cool with the youngsters, and they were a total embarrassment.
Long shot. You gonna get hit today.
You're not the only one trying to get drafted. Yo, man, get you.
This time around. Devin Wade at the line for the final play of the game. It's the biggest moment of your life. Let's go out there and prove to the world that we belong.
The sports stuff. Now, this is a little more nuanced. Sports games are EA's bread and butter. They've been making the same ones for like 300 years now, and at this point, they're pretty much the best at it. So sure, people want to hear about them, but can we dial it back just a little? Like, these presentations are all usually a bit on the longer side, but I think it's pretty clear that EA can cut some of their fat here. We don't need these drawn-out, overproduced trailers for the story modes of every single one of these sports games. Oh, in FIFA, you're going to play as a character who comes from humble beginnings and then lives out their dream by becoming a pro athlete. In Madden, on the other hand, you play as a character who comes from these humble beginnings and then lives out their dream by becoming a pro athlete. Like, holy shit, EA, just calm down, okay? You're blowing my mind to pieces with all these innovative strides you're taking. I can't handle it.
I went early, Rog. I went early. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the men in blazers. That's Rog, the bald one. I'm Davo, way less bald in person. We are delighted to be here.
But that also leads me to this. Oh yes, the jacket guys. This probably could have been addressed in the influencer section, but they're specifically sports people, at least the way I understand it, so I felt like putting them here. I don't know. What I do know is they were the worst of the worst. Nothing is worse than idiots who think they are insanely funny, but are actually about as funny as grandma having a heart attack. Simply, these guys should not only not be here this year, but never again, EA. Fire them. Fire them out of a fucking cannon for all I care. I never want to see these two dumb faces disgrace my screen ever again. So yeah, the sports stuff in general, if we want to be productive about it, a lot of things I think you could cut out.
That tweet from John Boyega was like the tweet heard around the world. It spoke for all of us. When can we play a Star Wars story? We don't want to just relive the movies. We've watched them a million times. What we want to do is have a new and authentic, untold story. A story that delivers new perspectives and enables us to play as some of our favorite Star Wars characters while also introducing new ones.
And yet, here we are, still waiting to play a Star Wars story, EA. No, not that slapped-together Battlefront 2 crap. It isn't cutting it for me. Again, I feel like the expectations here are pretty low. Something narratively driven, a single-player game. Yeah, like the ones you say don't sell, EA, I know. You know, God of War sitting over there with its measly 3 million copies sold in 3 days as a PS4 exclusive, with practically universal praise from both critics and players. Just, you know, titles like that, they just can't hold a candle to the masterpiece that was Battlefront 2. Yep, they basically had to shut down Visceral and their Star Wars game because EA doesn't think that's what you want. Fully blown out Star Wars campaign? Nope. Here's some more loot boxes for you to open though. Idiots. But here's the thing, with Battlefront 2, the fans spoke loudly. And EA had no choice but to listen. And word is that the recently acquired Respawn may be tasked with giving us just that actual immersive Star Wars experience. But at E3, EA, we need some confirmation here. Even if it is just a quick teaser, give us some hard confirmation that an actual good Star Wars game that isn't a multiplayer mess is in fact on the way. And do me a favor and pretend that you're happy about giving the players what they actually want. I know nothing bothers you guys more than pleasing the player base, but suck it up and deliver this one with a smile. You really need to be in damage control mode with this IP after the Battlefront 2 debacle from last year, and having an official announcement for this sort of game could make some headway on that front. I feel like the Star Wars IP, in terms of making a game, should be like a layup, an underhand pitch. They're just serving it up for you to hit out of the park. I mean, the world, the lore, everything is already there. Okay, you just gotta build a digital version of it and let players run around in it. Is that really that hard?
Oh, come on. Be something good. Oh, yes! Jer's wrath.
Now, Anthem is one where I'm going to have some actual standards. I'm going to raise the bar a bit. I feel like everything I've said up to this point is pretty simple. I said from the beginning, I'm not going to ask for much here. And that's largely because I know EA can't deliver much. But this game, they have to impress me with. Here's the thing about Anthem. Normally, I wouldn't really care, honestly. The more I hear about it, the more it gives me a Destiny sort of vibe, which isn't exactly how I'd sell people on a game these days, just saying. But there's this little franchise called Mass Effect. That was one of my favorite franchises to spawn out of the last generation. Fantastic series, a narrative that flowed well throughout all 3 games before it flew right off a cliff at the end of the 3rd one, but until that it was pretty solid. Engaging gameplay, it had a bit of everything and was competent all around. And then there was Mass Effect Andromeda.
Focus defenses here and here. The Ket have been quiet for too long. See? No reason we can't be civilized.
This travesty is a blight not just on this series, not just on BioWare, not just on EA, but on the gaming industry as a whole. This entire franchise, as much as I love it, should just be dead now. I'd rather never see another Mass Effect game than potentially, possibly, get another one resembling this dumpster fire. So Mass Effect Andromeda effectively killed the series. But I always get this excuse, like, oh, well, it's because they handed the project off to a B team while most of their best people have been working on this new IP. Okay, so what you're saying is Mass Effect had to effectively die, be murdered in violent fashion, so we could get Anthem. So yeah, it's sad, but that'll be fine as long as Anthem is one of the best games of this generation. Because if it's going to be worth sentencing Mass Effect to death, anything less, and I consider this title to be an absolute failure. And that's all. Good luck, by the way. I'm cheering for you guys. I hope it was worth it. And that's it. You know, with that, this video's a wrap. Not really a lot here. But like I said, I just want EA to try and not completely embarrass themselves this year. And if they just follow these simple steps, I think they can do it. If they do this, I think they can have at least an okay, a C- show. And that's all I'm really asking for. So let me know what sorts of things you'd like to see from EA at E3 this year in the comments. As always, I'm John Zakari, and thanks for watching.